This 2023 NBA season was a roller coaster ride personified for the defending champs. The year started with the Draymond Green Jordan Poole punch in practice before the preseason. The Warriors got off to a super slow start and quickly became the worst road team coming off a championship the season before. So, nothing exactly looked or felt dynastic with these Warriors this season. But who am I, or all of us, to count out the Warriors? Especially when the Warriors are suddenly rumored to be among the favorites to land none other than LeBron James this summer. And something even crazier, though not out of the question, is a prime Giannis Antetokounmpo moving to the Warriors. Look, we know the admiration Giannis has for Steph. Giannis even drafted him with his first pick in the All-Star draft in 2018. And when he was asked on social media to come to the Warriors, he didn't by any means shut down the idea.
Bro, please come to the Warriors. Somebody say please come to the Warriors. Hey. Hey, man.
Giannis doesn't become a free agent until 2025, and LeBron doesn't hit the open market either until 2024, but weirdly enough, if there was a realistic possibility that LeBron or Giannis would pack his bags and head to the Bay, the chances grow higher now more than ever because the Warriors have the tools to pull off a big trade. I'll be the first to remind you, if I broached the same topic a year ago, y'all would have put me on full blast for even teasing the fact that the Warriors would trade a haul to get an aging LeBron, and rightfully so. Because a year ago, the Warriors won the NBA title and looked like they just dived into phase 2 of their dynasty. Despite Draymond Green oftentimes being the Warriors' center at just 6 feet 6 inches tall, the Warriors still ranked number 3 in points allowed in 2022 and first and second in opponent field goal percentage and three-point percentage respectively. And as we saw time and time again, going small never hurt the Warriors, ever, once upon a time. Now, granted, they had a 7-foot-tall Kevin Durant manning the middle in the past, which helped with rim protection, but still, numbers don't lie. The Warriors can still defend at an elite level despite their tallest player in the starting lineup in 2022 being Andrew Wiggins. A prime example of just how deadly these new Warriors looked, I always think back to Game 2 of the first round versus the Denver Nuggets in the 2022 playoffs. The Warriors, with Steph, Poole, and Klay, reeled off a mind-blowing 44 points in a single quarter and 70 points in a span of 19 minutes against Denver's top defense. And for the first time in a good 3 or 4 years, I was reminded just how lethal the Warriors are and can consistently be if they choose to turn up the heat. It was an incredible display of offense, ball movement, finishing, distant shot making, just unstoppable on every level. It actually reminded me of the previous Warriors team that scored an NBA record 51 points back on January 15th, 2019. And strangely enough, it was against the Nuggets. The only way this quote-unquote death lineup was made possible again is because of the stunning emergence of Jordan Poole, who became the steal of the 2019 NBA draft, and then Andrew Wiggins, who they picked up mid-season during the 2019-2020 season. It might not seem like it now, but it was those two guys who helped rewire and revitalize this, at one point, deteriorating dynasty just a year ago. Poole blossomed as a late first-rounder, and Wiggins, who was officially labeled a bust up until just 2 seasons ago, became key contributors on a championship-winning team. The Warriors were, and always would be, in really, really good hands. Or so we thought. Just a year later, most Warriors fans want nothing to do with Jordan Poole after his strange no-show in the 2023 playoffs, which was really surprising. Again, after he was so dynamic last season. And the Warriors, who thrived as a small ball team just a year ago, got smacked around by the Lakers in the postseason and were exposed for not having enough size on so many levels of a game. See, the Warriors have already expressed major interest in keeping the championship band of Steph, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green together for the remaining years of Steph's prime, and considering how great Steph Curry still is at 35 years old. And given the Warriors' current state, what's there not to like in a potential LeBron trade for both sides? LeBron's got a hefty contract at around $50 million next year, but the Warriors have a couple of big contracts on their hands too that they would throw into a deal, particularly Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, along with another mid-level player to match salaries. The Lakers would get young stars like Poole and Wiggins to add to their roster with all the young pieces they already have to continue to be competitive, and the Warriors would add another top 10 player in the league in LeBron to go with Steph and Klay, which would likely make them favorites to win the championship next season. Here's the thing, in the NBA, it's hard enough to win a championship. It's even harder to win a few championships. And the odds are like 1 in a million that some team will become a dynasty. Here's another thing, and it's something that nobody can dispute. Once the core band of Steph, Klay, and Draymond retire, the Warriors are not going to win another championship for a good while. Heck, it might be a really long minute before they even sniff the NBA Finals again. Just look at all the NBA dynasties that have come and gone. Outside of maybe the old Lakers and the old Boston Celtics, it has taken a franchise a long time to win another championship after their dynasty ended, and some haven't won since their dynasty ended. In fact, where were the Celtics after Bird, McHale, and Robert Parrish and the 80s dynasty ended? Boston didn't win a title until the late 2000s. Where have the Bulls been after Michael Jordan retired? They're still trying to make another NBA Finals appearance, and what have the Spurs done since Tim Duncan called it a career? Haven't sniffed the NBA Finals. While I'm not saying that dynasties become tragedies right after winning time is over, it's almost guaranteed that there'll be a time of either flat out losing or being unable to make another Finals appearance for years. So, for the Warriors' sake, and I realize that their young pieces like Poole and Kuminga are promising young players, but tell the truth. Will they come close to filling the shoes of Steph, Klay, and Draymond, who won 4 chips in 8 seasons? Bear with me as I break down this potential dark horse blueprint to another championship. Do you remember what speaking of the Lakers, did when they were in a similar position to what the Warriors are in now a few seasons ago? They had young budding stars like Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and they decided to package these guys in a trade to bring in Anthony Davis to the Lakers to pair with LeBron. And though it's been up and down for LA since the trade, the Lakers got a championship out of the move and were very much in the hunt for a second one. Why wouldn't the Warriors entertain the idea of sending Poole, Wiggins, maybe Kuminga, or some package of assets to bring in a superstar along with Steph, Klay, and Draymond when you have the opportunity to become instant title favorites as soon as next season? Especially when Jordan's Poole value is still relatively on the upper end given his age and potential, now would be an opportunity to try and move him while his value is still relatively high, despite his no-shows in the postseason. And with Steph clearly still in his prime, Klay having a strong bounce-back season, and Draymond still doing Draymond things, there are several superstars out there that the Warriors could potentially add via trade and could position themselves to add a couple more chips in the Steph Curry era. Again, why not? I don't see nearly the payoff with letting Draymond go and developing younger talent as I do with making this team a powerhouse one last time by bringing in another superstar during the remaining years of Steph Curry's prime. While yes, adding a superstar probably won't lessen the luxury tax burden the Warriors are already in and have been in for a long time now, the Warriors front office has shown us one thing: there is zero reluctance in spending big. If the Warriors, just like the vast majority of other ex-NBA dynasties, are going to face a lot of losing anyway once the Steph Curry era is officially over, they can too prolong and strengthen this dynasty by adding LeBron while they have Steph playing at the peak of his powers. This would help the Warriors' position to win, another 1, 2, maybe even 3 championships over the next several seasons. It would be an opportunity to shoot for modern-day NBA immortality, becoming the only NBA franchise to do something remotely close to what Bill Russell's Celtics pulled off by winning 9 titles in 1 decade. And by the way, I realize that the Warriors would be sacrificing a lot of the future by going all in now, but have you been watching how Steph has been defying Father Time? Just this past regular season, Steph Curry finished the season as the oldest player in NBA history to have a season with a scoring average of at least 25 points, with shooting splits of at least 49% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, and 90% from the free throw line. At 35 years old, Steph Curry is putting together a brand of basketball that we haven't quite seen before, and incredibly enough, he looks like he could play at this pace for a few more seasons. And I touched on Draymond and Klay, who I think proved this season that they are still more than good enough to be a part of a championship-winning core. LeBron, Steph, Klay, Draymond? Why do you think LeBron said that Steph Curry is the guy in the NBA that he wants to play with?
Who else you want to play with? In today's game, Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure, in today's game.
Simple. LeBron is the greatest passer to three-point shooters in NBA history. Seriously. In his 20 years in the NBA, LeBron had totaled over 3,500 assists coming off three-point shots. What do you think that number can become if you put Steph Curry and Klay Thompson at his side? It would devastate the NBA. Real talk. In the words of LeBron, I'm still better than 95% of the league. And he's right. Year 20, age 38, LeBron just finished a season averaging 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 50% from the floor. If there's a man in sports with a bloody beef with Father Time, it's the King. And how storybook would it be if we had two of the game's biggest superstars join forces to each win their 5th NBA championship next season? Just two kids from Akron, turned rivals, turned championship-winning teammates? What are the odds of this actually happening? I need your input on this one.